Vampires. Terrifying creatures known for their malevolent nature. These horrifying beings will hypnotize you to do their bidding. All of that drag so they can feed on your blood. Basically, they are glorified bedbugs. Vampires are so popular and it's no wonder that anime is so big on them. You got Alucard for the gore and park-walking enthusiasts. You got Dio for those looking for a daddy choker. And you got Shinobu for people who's trying to convince others that they are not into pedophilia. I swear, officer, she told me she's 598 years old. Vampires are all around the anime media, and one of which is about a vampire who has social anxiety. And no, this is not just a Bocchi the Rock Vampire edition, because the Vexations of a Shot-in Vampire Princess is an anime that was able to masterfully merge its humor and darker themes. More people should watch this anime, and here's why. But before that though, go on and hit that like and subscribe button, cuter than Komari when she's hugging her dolphin plush. Join Otaku Defined for more anime content. The Vexations of a Shot-in Vampire Princess, or simply known by fans as Hikikomari. It follows the story of Komari, an adorable vampire loli. Looks like this is my ticket to meeting Shinobi fans in prison. But seriously though, the Vexations of a Shot-in Vampire Princess deserves more love for how funny it is. I watched this anime series blind, and I even thought that this would be just a generic show featuring a lolly vampire and her sexy maid who seemed to be ready to join us in prison together with the Shinobu fans. I mean, just look at that poster. So I was surprised to see that Hikikomari is actually a good anime series. In a nutshell, The Vexations of a Shot-in Vampire Princess is a comedy Yuri-based anime about an incompetent, unathletic, socially awkward, hemphobic night dweller. Wait, that's just my Twitter bio. Komari is forced to lead a battalion of vampires and battle against the 6 vampire commanders in a never-ending war where they respawn every day, as a sick form of entertainment. But it's not all gloom and doom. This anime is so funny, it even has a guy who dies in every episode, voiced by Subaru. And look, here's Ram with a better design who constantly thirsts for comedy. This anime will make you laugh, as long as you ignore the warmongering, bullying, and harassment. If you're starting to think that this anime has some darker themes, so well, you're in for a surprise. But let's focus on the first thing that makes this anime a must-watch. It's humor. As a comedy anime, Hikikomari is well written as it plays around the gags established on the character's personality. It lets its characters show off their quirky traits with one another, resulting in a comedy that will absolutely make you laugh, such as the chemistry between Komari's social anxiety and Vill's extra-jubilant form of skinship, or how the Empress longs for Komari to accept her offer to command a vampire army, all the while expressing it in an alarming lewd manner. Komari's underlings idolizing her, so much so to the point that they might as well commit an Oshinoko. I kinda understand why Komari wants to be alone in her room, given by the predators that surrounds her. Aside from that, it uses the character traits to move the story, such as the question of whether or not a talentless basement dweller can command a ruthless horde of cold-blooded vampires. And this anime answers that with a political campaign. Komari, having no talents to command a vampire army, established her leadership with propaganda and lies, like a typical politician. Telling things like Komari was able to kill hundreds of people with only one finger, Komari accidentally killing one of her officers, and Komari actually winning her first war. All of this resulted in Komari being established as a true vampire commander and a rightful contender to be the next vampire empress. So yeah, it's Baggy the Clown waifu version. But the comedy isn't the main reason why more people should watch this anime. It is when the humor takes a backseat. What made me invested in Hikikomari is by the end of episode 1. The story is already dropping hints that there will be a darker twist in this anime, showing things like how the war is a sick form of entertainment since no one actually dies permanently as they revive the next day. It is similar to how the world works in Elden Ring, where death is no longer a thing. It adds flavor to the malevolent nature of them being vampires, of a twisted sense for hobbies. We also see a quick flashback on what turned Komari into a shot-in. After laughing all throughout episode 1, I was suddenly taken aback, as this anime is planting the seeds that actually made the story even better. And it made me realize how corrupt the world is in Hikikomari. It drives its comedy with a good touch of darker themes to tell a connected story. And that's the other reason why more people should watch the Vexations of a Shut-in Vampire Princess. In my opinion, episode 3 is when the real story of Hikikomari really kicks off. And if I haven't convinced you to watch this anime, this is your spoiler warning as I'll go into some crazy things that happened in episode 3 and 4. So, the story did not let itself be a poor excuse to write some gags on how socially inept Komari is, or why Vill is so flirtatious with Komari, or why the Emperor suddenly appoints her as a commander. They weren't just written like that for us to laugh, but there were reasons why they became like that kind of character. For Komari, the reason why she became a shut-in, and this was hinted at in episode 1, is because of the bullying done by Millicent Mulnite. And Millicent is not just your average bully. She didn't just throw threats on Komari's desk. She didn't just dump dirty water on Komari's head. She would go beyond those acts to the point of unaliving Komari. But why was Komari getting bullied? Well, it's not because she has a meek personality. It's actually far from that, given the fact that Komari actually stood up against Millicent for bullying another schoolmate, which turned out to be Vill. But of course, the anime also explained why Millicent is acting the way she is, which in my perspective is a great move, so we can know why Millicent chose to bully Komari and Vill, and her reason is inexcusable. She might have been just a teenager pressured by her father, but most teenagers don't try to commit murder. But that's the thing here. Even though the story unraveled Millicent's agenda for going after Komari, it didn't make us feel sympathetic, which is a refreshing thing to see in anime that usually tries to justify the ends for their sub-storied means. In the end, we felt elated when Komari finally awakened her power and started unaliving Millicent with no hint of forgiveness. In a rare time in anime, the bully got their just desserts. And that is another reason why more people should watch Hikikomari. It doesn't forget how each of its characters move in the story. I'm really surprised how the story of Hikikomari perfectly lines up everything. Its characters, the world, their power system, their culture. I mean, I watched this anime because it lured me in for some funny Yuri anime about a vampire NEET. But I stayed invested for how well the story weaves both of its humor and darker elements. The Vexations of a Shut-in Vampire Princess is an amazing anime, and you should definitely watch it. Plus come on, it has this guy who only raps for some reason. Another anime that you should watch is of course the Apothecary Diaries, because it has one of the best protagonists in anime right now. Check this video out by Leah. Please like and subscribe to Otaku Define for more anime content. This is Math, and stay awesome my dudes.